In 2024, Burkina Faso finds itself at a turning point. In recent months, the West African country has had to negotiate a difficult terrain of political upheavals, security threats, and economic hardships. The country's fortitude is continually put to the test, from the aftermath of the military coup in October of last year to the ongoing conflict with terrorist organizations in the north. Yet, amidst these challenges, glimmers of hope emerge as communities strive for stability, development, and a brighter future. Since taking power in October 2022, Ibrahim Traoré, the interim president of Burkina Faso, has actively pursued strategies to strengthen the country both internally and externally. This brings us to today's video. Russia has begun deploying troops in Burkina Faso. We are also going to find out why Russia is getting closer to African countries. On January 25th, reports emerged of around 100 Russian military personnel arriving in Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou. This marks the first significant deployment of official Russian troops to the West African nation. The deployment comes amidst Burkina Faso's growing security crisis, facing jihadist insurgencies linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. The official narrative, as stated by a Telegram channel linked to the Russian Defense Ministry, claims the troops are for ensuring the safety of the country's leader and the Burkinabe people. It further stated that 200 more would be deployed soon. This suggests a potential role in training, advising, or assisting local forces in counterinsurgency operations. Since the military-led nation drove out French forces early last year, its relations with Moscow have been in the spotlight, prompting speculations that it will strengthen security links with Russia, similar to neighboring Mali, the home base of Russian Wagner mercenaries. Burkina Faso's President Traoré is surpassing the goals set by his predecessor, Sankara. By forming relationships with nations that Western powers view as rivals, he is confronting and challenging the West. Traoré has become known as an audacious leader in Africa, thanks to this bold strategy. His new tactic is not only very clever, but also quite successful. Instead of directly challenging Western powers without any support, Traoré has chosen to align himself with powerful friends. This not only makes him untouchable, but also sends a clear message that Burkina Faso will ally with countries regardless of the West's opinion of them. The deployment will heighten Western worries about Russia's growing sway in the Sahel region of Africa, where a string of coups in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have brought Moscow-aligned military governments to power and transformed a protracted regional battle with rebels associated with Daesh and Al-Qaeda. Take note that after nearly 32 years without a diplomatic presence in Burkina Faso, Russia announced in December that it was reopening its embassy in Ouagadougou. The reopening of the Russian embassy will help increase coordination in terms of foreign policy and consolidate the relations of friendship and cooperation uniting Russia and Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso also signed a deal with Russia in October to build a nuclear power plant, which will boost the country's energy supply. Less than 25% of the population of Burkina Faso has access to electricity. In a dramatic and far-reaching move in December that sent shockwaves throughout Africa and beyond, Captain Ibrahim Traoré announced the expulsion of all foreign mining companies operating in his country. Bear in mind that Nordgold, which is a Russian gold mining company, was among these companies. This bold move was intended to reclaim control of the country's abundant gold resources. Traoré's decision was a calculated move meant to guarantee that the country's gold reserves benefit its citizens rather than foreign businesses. This sentiment is in line with the sentiments of other African leaders who have watched as Western corporations plunder their natural resources, leaving them in a state of desperation and poverty. At the beginning of September 2023, a Russian delegation led by the Deputy Minister of Defense, Yunus Yevgurov, went to Ouagadougou to discuss issues of development and military cooperation with Traoré. Following the meeting, Yevgurov said training for Burkinabe cadets, officers, and pilots in Russia, as well as economic and nuclear energy assistance, were part of the discussions held. The visit of the Russian delegation showed how Moscow was seeking to strengthen its influence in Africa after the death of Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin, who through the mercenary group established a network of interests across several countries and beyond. Traoré is looking at every possible means to strengthen his country. It's no news again that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger established a mutual defense pact known as the Alliance of Sahel States. The alliance was set up to help counter possible threats of armed rebellion or external aggression. It was created as ECOWAS was threatening to intervene militarily in Niger to help restore constitutional order, following the coup led by General Abdourahmane Tiani. All this has led these three countries to withdraw from the ECOWAS bloc. There are also a lot of projects currently going on in Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim Traoré placed the foundation stone for the country's first gold refinery on November 23. It was said that the facility would generate its first gold 11 months after the kickoff of the project, with a production capacity of around 400 kilograms of gold per day. The project is being developed in partnership with an existing company called Marina Gold. Take note that Russia has also been closer to Niger, Chad, and Mali. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with Mohamed Idriss Déby, the leader of Chad, on January 24 in the Kremlin. This was an attempt to win over a nation that had previously adhered to a pro-Western stance and had rejected Russia's recent outreach in Africa's Sahel region. Mohamed Déby's trip to Russia is the first official visit to Moscow by a Chadian leader in 56 years, and the second trip made by a leader of the landlocked Central African nation since it separated from France. After the coup in Niger, thousands of supporters were seen marching through the streets of the capital, Niamey, waving Russian flags, chanting the name of the Russian president, and forcefully denouncing former colonial power France. While Niger's security situation is dire, it's not as bad as neighboring Burkina Faso or Mali, which have also been battling an Islamic insurgency linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group. Last year, Niger was the only one of the three to see a decline in violence. Mali currently faces heightened activity by jihadist groups and a resumption of hostilities in the north by predominantly Tuareg armed groups. Since August, there has been a series of attacks against army positions and civilians in the Timbuktu and Gao regions. In Burkina Faso, more than 6,000 people have lost their lives since January of 2023. Do you think these Russian troops will bolster security in the region? Russia possesses an experienced military with expertise in counterinsurgency tactics. Sharing this knowledge and training Burkina forces could lead to improved operational effectiveness against jihadist groups. Russia will also provide Burkina Faso with access to advanced weaponry and military equipment, potentially giving them an edge in combat. Talking about weapons, do not forget that Burkina Faso received the first shipment of cutting-edge weapons under its new strategic equipment plan from China, a development that indicates a major improvement in its military capabilities. The freshly acquired arsenal was unveiled on January 12th, with President Captain Ibrahim Traoré presiding over a ceremony. Among the most prominent additions are 6 WMA-301 fire support vehicles, manufactured by the Chinese company Norinco. These 105mm mobile howitzers offer powerful indirect fire support, bolstering Burkina Faso's capacity to counter militant activity within its borders. President Traoré's inspection went beyond armored cars. He also looked through shipping containers filled to the brim with various weapons and ammunition. Defense Minister Kassoum Koulibaly announced this delivery as the first of 5 shipments scheduled to arrive over the coming months, which highlights the ambitious breadth of the strategic equipment plan. In a broadcast speech on December 31, 2023, President Traoré revealed this plan. At the time, he promised to reveal details gradually over the year. One concrete initiative revealed within the plan was the formation of the Special Rapid Intervention Brigade. This elite unit will be assembled by merging existing rapid intervention battalions with a Special Forces group to reclaim territory currently held by militant groups operating within Burkina Faso's borders. He said he planned on launching the anti-corruption machine this year. So, the deployment of these Russian troops is just an extra advantage to Traoré, since he had already had so many plans before taking office. Traoré has also called on the Burkinabés to make the presidential initiative for community development their own by getting more involved in urban and rural sanitation initiatives, at a time when a dengue-related health crisis has claimed more than 700 lives. As Traoré is trying to defend his country, others are struggling to terminate him. According to some reports in December, a startling turn of circumstances prevented a murder attempt against Ibrahim Traoré. Burkina Faso's political climate is unpredictable, as this failed effort adds to the country's lengthy history of coup attempts and power struggles. It is alleged that Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo Damiba was the mastermind behind this failed attempt. The political situation in Burkina Faso remains unstable, and Traoré's position as leader is seen as unsafe by some people. This creates an opportunity for some actors to try and capitalize on perceived instability. However, he is loved and encouraged by many Africans. Many people now have their hopes in him. Russia's troop deployment to Burkina Faso, purportedly for security purposes, has caused tremors in the Sahel region's already unstable waters. Although there is some optimism in the idea of skilled Russian people supporting local forces fighting jihadist insurgencies, there are other risks that must be considered. On one hand, Burkina Faso's security forces may benefit greatly from Russia's military hardware and experience. In addition to perhaps providing cutting-edge equipment, exchanging tactics and training could provide the Burkinabe military a tactical advantage while fighting armed groups. Additionally, Russia's presence provides an alternative cooperation and fills a security vacuum left by France's recent withdrawal and Burkina Faso's tense relations with its former colonial power. However, optimism needs to be balanced with prudence. Because social and economic issues are at the core of the Sahelian war, military solutions alone may not be sufficient. Integrating foreign troops into the mix could exacerbate existing internal rivalries and factionalism within the Burkinabe military. Tensions already present with Western nations, especially France, may worsen as a result of Russia's expanding influence in the area. This risks turning the Sahel into a proxy battleground for geopolitical interests, with potentially disastrous consequences for the region's stability. Several factors will determine whether Russia's stay in Burkina Faso will be successful. Whether this action strengthens security or encourages more instability will depend critically on the type and extent of the deployment, Burkina Faso's dedication to good governance and resolving the conflict's underlying causes, and the regional reaction to Russia's engagement. We are all waiting to see how things will unfold. Do you think these troops will be able to stop the insurgency problems going on in the country? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.